The details for Kid Boo's Super EZA has been announced on the JP side's Twitter. So we're going to go through this whole ass paragraph. I see a lot of 1s, 2s, 50s, 20s. There's a lot of numbers in this. So this is going to be a crazy Super EZA. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And let's get into this breakdown. So let's recap on what Kid Buu currently does. All types 3 key, 50% HP and defense 50%. Raises attack up by 80%. The more HP remaining, the greater the attack boost. He's got immense damage to the enemy and lowers defense, with all allies 2 key, attack defense 50% when HP is 80% or above, and all allies attack and defense 30% when HP is 79% or below. So that was his EZA details. And with Super EZAs, they're not changing the leader skills, nor with the super attack. It is truly just a passive skill change. So let's have a look at these translated details. So let's jump into the new passive skill, which is crazy. I'm scared as the years go by with each Super EZA we get, it is going to get longer and crazier and crazier. I'm scared because I don't want to be reading books, man. But here we are. It is Dokkan 10 years later, pretty much. Attack defense 150% at the start of the turn. So he's got his own stats and not just the supporting stats. Reduces damage received by 20%. And chance of performing a critical hit plus 20%. So just base stuff here. An additional attack defense to 50% when performing a super. That is crazy huge. All allies support for 2 key and 50%. So that hasn't changed, but there's no HP restriction here. So now let's have a look at the brand new passive, the Super EZA passive here. He gets attack and defense 150% up, with a crit hit chance and damage reduction plus 20% straight off the bat, which is nice. He's getting some stats for himself rather than just getting it through the support, which is really, really good for this unit for sure. An additional attack defense 250% when launching a super attack, which is a huge stat boost right there. Already though, he's not going to be a first slot unit. I can probably tell you that much. 150% stat boost and 20% damage reduction is not warranted him to be a first slot unit. But he's a support, so he was regardless just going to be a second, third slot unit because there's already filled out. Like for example, margin power. We didn't really need another first slot or second slot unit. So he would be great for the third slot unit. All allies 2 key and attack defense 50% up. So he's got that same 50% support, with additional key plus 1 attack defense 10% if they're a super class ally, and additional 2 key and 20% attack defense if they're an extreme class ally when HP is 70% or above. So he's still got the HP restriction of 70% HP and above, but you're getting additional stats rather than just the 50%. You're getting 70% if you're an extreme class ally and 60% if you're a super class ally. So nice little thing additional for super class allies. It's kind of good because they've been doing that like super class, extreme class buff for all the Super EZAs actually, which is quite interesting. I wonder if that will be a pattern throughout the whole entire lifespan of Super EZAs, or if they will ditch this kind of like support for super class allies, extreme class ally thing. All allies attack defense 30% up, and additional key plus 1 if they're HP if they are super class allies, and additional key plus 1 attack defense 20% if they're an extreme class ally when HP is 60% or 69% or below, sorry. So they still got like the lower tier support if your HP is too low, but luckily for extreme class allies, they still get a 50% support regardless, which is very, very nice. Like there's not really that many super class allies that you want him to support anyway. So this is just nice. It's really, really nice that he's always going to be an extreme class support for 50%. He has a critical hit chance and damage reduction up by 20% up to 40% per 2 attacks received in battle. So every time he takes 2 hits, you will be able to get the damage reduction up to 20%. And if you take 4 hits, you get the max 60% damage reduction, including the base 20% damage reduction that he does have. And then recovers 10% HP after receiving 2 or more attacks in battle up to once per turn, which is very nice. A little bit of healing addition to him. So yes, that is his guy. With the 60% damage reduction post-super, I think he's tanking a lot in the game. So that is very, very nice. Maybe some STR bosses may be the biggest issue. And also AoEs, because he's only getting massive defense buffs when he is super attacking. And unfortunately, his SA is not like greatly stacking his defense, infinitely or for even 3 turns or whatever. So he'll be a bit fragile when it comes to AoEs, which is very, very scary. And so with that, this is his defensive calculations here. After his super attack, he's got 803,000 defense. And hopefully you've taken the 4 hits needed within the 2 turns in order to get the 60% damage reduction. And that is looking really, really good. Unfortunately, his additional super attack procs or whatever, the super attack procs don't do anything through the super attack mechanic, sadly. So he's not getting anything higher than that. He's not reaching the 1 million. But regardless, that is still very, very good. So this is an example of how much he can take. 3 million super attack, which is the Brawly Red Zone event from stage 8. And the BUU is going to be taking 417,000 HP in damage. And so in a proper, well-built team, hopefully you're taking normals with double digits. And then if he does take the super, you are still living, which is actually very, very impressive. Of course, this is post-super, and so when it comes to AoEs, that is a little bit scary. Now, his damage, on the other hand, is looking very, very impressive. Now, this is what the rotation is looking like. And with the first super attack, you're at 15.9 million on the first super, with 60% chance to critical, which is so good. Very, very huge stuff. And then, of course, the second super attack is just a nice topping. If you get the additional super, that's some big, big damage right there. Now, the big question is, what are you changing the hidden potential on for this Kid BUU? Because he's got inbuilt critical, which I think already means that we shouldn't worry about critical. And then we got additionals and dodges. Now, remember, he has to receive attacks, so dodging can be very annoying, especially if you're floating him out. It might take some time for him to build up the damage reduction, especially if you get that good RNG and you put too much dodge on it and you're not receiving attacks. And yeah, he could be stuck with like just a flat 20% damage reduction. So dodging can be a little bit scary, but of course, when it comes to AoEs, that's going to save you the most amount of HP because, of course, he doesn't get any defense until he super attacks. So, that's why a dodge will come through when it comes to those AoE fights. Additionals will complement well with the inbuilt criticals. We saw how much attacks that he can get, 15 million. And because he got that really high chance to critical already, you can go additional and then we can get some really good damage out. And we've seen how much he can tank post-super. So having lower dodge than usual is fine. So what I might go with, because I do have and run free-to-play teams, and I know that my free-to-play units sometimes will take damage on normals, I might give BUU about 10 to 15 dodge, and then put the rest into additionals. I won't max out the Kid BUU dodge at all. I think max 15 for me, and then the rest additional. And because you can just skip on the critical, like 60% chance to critical is perfectly fine. And even if he doesn't critical, 50 million attack that can lower defense is pretty nice regardless. Now, there will be a server maintenance tomorrow or today, depending on when you watch this video, I guess. That will last for a couple of hours until on Monday, 4 p.m. my time. It's like 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And after that, we should know when exactly Kid BUU will be dropping. Again, this will be an update for 5.20. I don't know what's actually being added here, but I'll have a video up once the data download drops and we get some more information on that. Maybe we'll see some more cool stuff in this data download other than Kid BUU. So make sure you subscribe to the channel with notification bell on so you don't miss out on that video. And don't worry, global players, Kid BUU is confirmed to be coming out on global if you haven't seen the news already inside the game. Also global, you're getting Heavenly Events, Super Battle Road Stage 78, as well as the Android Stealth Saga ESPR Stage 55. So free stones and free skill orbs and whatnot. But other than that, that's all we got for this weekend's piece of news. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Are you guys super excited for Kid BUU? I certainly am. I got him 100%ed already, so your boy is going to grind that. And of course, we'll post a video of showcases on him, as well as the Super EZA event as well. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, stay healthy, stay safe, stay fizzy. Peace.